Most men rush toward intimacy. The ones who slow down first are the ones she never forgets. I want to share something that changed the way I approach closeness with women completely. For most of my earlier experiences, I treated intimacy as a destination, something to move toward as quickly as the situation allowed. And what I consistently missed was that the quality of what happened between two people was almost entirely determined by what happened before. The conversation, the questions, the specific kind of emotional space that existed between them going in. The shift happened when I started asking one type of question before any significant moment of closeness. Not a checklist question, not a transactional one. A genuine, curious, emotionally intelligent question that did something I did not expect the first time I asked it. It made her feel genuinely safe. And in that safety, something opened between us that I had never experienced before in any physical or emotional encounter. Today, I am going to break down exactly what that question is, why it works at a psychological level, and how asking it correctly transforms the quality of intimacy in any relationship. Before we get into it, subscribe right now and drop a like. This channel exists to give men the honest, emotionally intelligent truth about what creates real depth and real connection with women, rather than just surface-level encounters. And I want to say something real to you. If your experiences of closeness with women have felt good but never quite deeply connected, the gap is almost always in the emotional foundation that was or was not built beforehand. The Magnetic Masculinity ebook in the description is the complete guide I put together for men who want to build that foundation correctly. Not just for intimacy, but for every dimension of genuine connection. 15 years of real research went into it. The link is in the description. Grab it today. Here is what I observed in myself and in most men I have talked to about this. We treat emotional closeness and physical closeness as two separate tracks. We pursue one and assume the other will follow naturally. And sometimes it does. But the depth of what follows is almost always limited by how much genuine emotional connection existed going in. Most men have never been taught to build that connection deliberately. They either hope the moment creates it on its own, or they assume that physical closeness is itself the connection they were looking for. But here is what I learned the hard way. Physical closeness without genuine emotional safety does not create depth. It creates a moment, and moments fade. What stays with a person, what makes them feel genuinely seen and genuinely connected, is always built in conversation. In the specific quality of attention one person gives to another before anything else happens. The question I am going to share with you is the clearest expression of that attention I have ever found. Dr. Arthur Aaron, whose research on intimacy and emotional closeness at the State University of New York produced what is now known as the 36-question study, found something remarkable. When two people move through a structured sequence of progressively personal questions, the emotional bond they develop in a short period of time consistently rivals bonds that took years to form through conventional social interaction. The key finding was not the specific questions, it was what they demonstrated. That genuine, mutual, progressively personal self-disclosure creates emotional intimacy faster and more reliably than any other mechanism available to two people. Dr. John Gottman's research on lasting connection found that the moments couples describe as most deeply intimate are almost never physical. They are moments when one person felt completely seen by another, when they said something real, and it was received with full attention and full acceptance. The question I am going to share with you is designed to create exactly that moment. Before any moment of significant closeness, emotional or physical, ask her this. What do you need to feel completely comfortable right now? The first time I asked this, the response surprised me. She did not give me a practical answer. She paused. And then she said something genuinely personal. Something about what made her feel safe. Something she had probably never been asked before in this kind of moment. And what happened next was not the result of a technique. It was the result of a genuine shift in the energy between us. She felt seen. She felt that this was a man who cared more about her actual experience than about moving forward. And that shift created more genuine closeness in 2 minutes than most of my previous experiences had created at all. Here is why this question works at a psychological level. It communicates three things simultaneously: that her comfort matters more than the moment, that you are present enough to ask rather than assume, and that whatever she says is safe to say because you asked. Dr. Brené Brown's research on vulnerability found that people open themselves most fully in environments where they feel genuinely seen and genuinely safe. This question creates that environment in its most direct and honest form. It is not a script. It is an expression of genuine care. And like everything else in connection and attraction, it only works when it is real. There are three things that determine whether this question lands with depth or falls flat. First, the timing. Ask it before the moment rather than during it, when there is still conversational space, when the answer has room to breathe and to be genuinely received. Second, the stillness. After you ask, stop talking. Give her the full silence she needs to actually answer honestly. Do not fill the space with reassurance or qualifiers. Just ask and listen completely. Third, the response. Whatever she says, receive it without judgment, without rushing past it, and without treating it as an obstacle. If she says she needs more time, that is the answer. If she says she needs to talk for a moment, that is the answer. If she says she is completely comfortable, that is the answer. All of them are right. All of them are worth hearing. Dr. Aaron's research found that the experience of being genuinely listened to after self-disclosure is as important as the self-disclosure itself. The question opens the door. Your full attention walking through it is what creates the depth. Once you understand why this question works, you can apply the same principle to conversations at every stage of a relationship. Before a difficult conversation, before a vulnerable moment, before any situation where her sense of safety determines how open she will be. The underlying principle is always the same. When you make her comfort your genuine priority in a moment that most men treat as purely about their own desire, you create an experience she has almost never had with a man who was interested in her. And that experience, more than any technique or strategy, is what builds the kind of genuine intimacy that stays. That she thinks about when you are not there, that she returns to because nothing else quite recreates what it felt like. Here is what I want you to take from all of this. The question is not a trick. It is not a line. It works because it is the honest expression of a man who genuinely cares about the experience of the person he is with more than he cares about the outcome of the moment. And here is the thing about that kind of man. He is rare, genuinely, noticeably rare. And rarity in the context of genuine care is one of the most powerful forms of attraction that exists. Be the man who asks. Be the man who listens to the answer. Be the man who creates safety before he seeks closeness. And watch how completely different everything that follows becomes. If this gave you a different way of thinking about what creates real intimacy and real connection, like this video and subscribe for more content that takes men deeper than surface advice into the real psychology of genuine closeness. And before you go, I want to be direct with you. The question in this video is one piece of a much larger framework for building emotional intimacy that most men never learn. The Magnetic Masculinity ebook in the description covers that framework in full. From how to create genuine safety in every conversation, to how to build the kind of connection that makes a woman feel more deeply known by you than by anyone else she has encountered. 15 years of real experience and research went into this guide. The link is in the description. Scroll down and grab it today. Because the depth of connection you are looking for is not out of reach. It is just waiting on the other side of knowing how to create it.